This is Ryan from MMA Viking here with Aleksi Nurminen on our third Fika with. How you doing, Aleksi?
Fine, how are you?
Good, good. Oh, I like the sunglasses.
Thanks. Glorify.
Yeah, I like the growing persona there. What does your shirt say?
Glorify.
Glorify. Is that a sponsor or a brand?
Yeah, sunglasses.
Okay,
To be.
very nice. Good. Well, a very exciting time. I asked you to join us for our new series here, which will be sponsored by WarriorCoffee very soon. We're excited to have our first sponsor. And then just wanted to check in with you because we've never interviewed you. And as being amateur champion at the IMMAF last year, got a little buzz. And then over the weekend, things kind of exploded with you being kind of online and trash talking. And we put up an article yesterday that really shows how confident you are.
Yeah,
Where's this all coming from?
I don't know. I have been training my confidence a bit. You need to have good confidence on yourself if you're a fighter.
Okay. Is this something you've always had and now maybe just a little more outspoken or?
No, I have not been confident. I have always stressed a lot, and I have not been sure about my skills and everything. But I had a lot of amateur fights, and those two pro fights, I started thinking more about what should I do, why I'm thinking things that I think in the cage, and all that kind of stuff. So now it's far more easy to me to fight when I have this confidence.
Okay. Yeah, explain to us, and even I'm pretty hardcore Nordic MMA, and when you look at your record, like at Sherdog, you have four pro fights, at least that's what they're showing, and
Yeah.
then you win the amateur world championships last year. How could you jump between pro and amateur? How does that work?
Uh, I had, uh, I don't remember that specifically, but I had like 17 wins as an amateur and only one loss uh, in fighting. So I think the record is a couple more losses or something like that. But I just had a lot of fights, a lot of experience. Then I had two B-rule pro fights. Then became the chance to fight at the World Championships, and I was like I already fought with B rules as a pro, so I was pretty confident that I could win the Amateur World Championship.
Okay, what exactly are B rolls so the fans understand what they are? Because it seems like it's more unique to Finnish MMA.
Yeah, I'm not that sure, but I think that they were the old beginner pro rules. Uh, no elbows, no knees to the head, and something like that. Uh, Now it's similar to IMMAF amateur rules, those B rules. So now it's only one professional rules, and those are the A rules.
Okay,
So
so maybe those couple bouts that you took that are listed as pro, those were B rolls. I'm saying they were just 2 rounds, so they weren't really like the regular pro MMA
yeah,
fights.
now they're like considered as amateur fights. So
Okay.
then they were pro fights then, but now they're like amateur fights. But they have been living their own life in the record. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, at least that'll help us fans look at it. And you're fighting on Cage 29 here. It's a huge card. Do you know anything about this Jonathan Ramon?
uh, not that much. I only watched like two of his fights. One was like 2 years ago or something like that, and one was last year. So I don't like to watch that many of my opponents' fights because usually they're old fights or something like that. So you cannot read your opponent that much from the fights. So I just quickly look at them and like, I'm gonna beat that guy, and don't stress about that too much.
Okay, talk to us about your background, like where you live and where you train and how you got into MMA.
Uh, I used to do weightlifting when I was younger. I have a picture here.
Come on.
Look, do you see it? I'm a weightlifter. Look at that body. It's
That,
beautiful.
was that like 10 kilos?
I think it's more. I think it's
Okay.
more. I'm pretty
That,
sure that's something around 50 kilos.
dang.
Yes. No, jokes aside,
Were you drug tested during that period? Were you all natural?
whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't look natural in this picture, but I was natural. Now I'm not. Full of drugs.
Okay, so you were a weightlifter when you were a kid, and then you just started the easy transition into martial arts, some karate, or
Actually, I only played football when I was young. Then I played a couple of years of floorball. Then I went to boxing when I was 15. I took the basic class in boxing. Then something happened. I just forgot about it. Then then I lived some youth, and when I was 18, I started Muay Thai. Then my friend told me at the same time that I should go to BJJ because I used to wrestle with my friends a lot, little friend wrestling and teasing them. So I went to straight to Thai boxing and BJJ, and then I found myself in MMA.
okay. So it's all happened pretty fast. You're a young guy. You're just 22 years old.
Yeah, yeah. I decided that if I start doing MMA, which I was always fond of when I was like 15, they showed The Ultimate Fighter on television here in Finland, and I realized that it wasn't just bar fighting and brawling. I realized that it was a legit sport, so I always looked up to those guys. And the first day I started MMA, I knew I was gonna do this hard. It's all in or nothing.
Okay. And are you a full-time fighter? Do you hold down a part-time job?
No, I don't work anywhere. I have good sponsors, food sponsor, clothing sponsor, also my streetwear, and a lot of sponsors. Now I have this awesome sunglass sponsor, Glorify, and money sponsor, this logistic company, Vindea. Everything's good. I only train. Uh, everything's fine.
Look at you. That's rare you hear that. Did a lot of this change when you became the world champion? Does that make a big difference in sponsors, or are these kind of companies that have been with you kind of throughout your short MMA career?
Yeah, they have been with me almost since the beginning. So only this sunglasses company just actually yesterday I had a meeting with them. So it's kind of new, but all the others have been since day one.
Yeah, do they sell many sunglasses in like January and February?
What?
Are you the only person wearing sunglasses in Finland right now, or?
Yeah, I got a bright future, so need to wear sunglasses.
Okay. So let's talk about beyond this fight. It seems like you are focusing a bit on your future. Uh, Talk about maybe some of your next fights or goals for yourself.
My goals are to beat the next guy. Then I'm gonna have a pretty tough test in the spring at cage 30. I'm not sure who the opponent is going to be, but it's going to be a huge step uh, up. So it's a next level fighter. And in the autumn, one more fight at cage. I have three fights left at cage, but I'm confident that I will get my UFC contract this year.
This year. Do you think a name like an Ike Valley Flag, who you're kind of sparring with and doing a very good job, by the way, online, do you think it'll take one of these UFC veterans or tough cast-offs to kind of make your way there?
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna beat Ramon, then I'm gonna beat one high-level fighter, or maybe Ike Valley Flag, and then in the autumn Ike Valley Flag or someone else that caliber, and then I'm off to the UFC.
Look at you. Love it. Maybe just ending for the guys that don't know, and even our female fans, talk about RNC Sports. You kind of producing some UFC fighters down there. We're familiar with a few of them, but who kind of runs that place, and who do you train with there?
Our head MMA coach is Janne Tulirinta, legendary fighter from the same town where I'm from. There's something in the tap water that makes good fighters here. So he runs the place, and there's a lot of good amateur fighters, very good tight amateur fighting group we have, very talented amateurs, few pros. It's going good. It's going good. A lot of talent.
Great. Well, we want to thank you for your time today and introducing you to our fans, and we'll be there covering you live at Cage on the 28th. From our side, we just want to thank WarriorCoffee, our new sponsor, for our little Fika time, and thanks to you, Aleksi.
Thank you, Ryan.
Cheers. Hey,